And welcome back. You're listening to Let's Drone Out. Today's Thursday, the 31st of the 8th, 2023. If you're American or Canadian, I think is I said it backwards. And tonight you are joined by everyone's favourite curry kitten, Chew.
Thank you.
Doesn't help when you
It's
mute
gone now.
yourself.
I mute myself saying I'm about to sneeze, so I muted. So, hello. It's gone now.
My buddy Carl.
Howdy.
And the lovable moustached bandit, Stephen.
Hey. Hello, Cole. Good to have you on the show again.
Thank you. Not too bad.
Get a haircut, you hippie.
It looks better longer. That's how
you know
I do it.
What I'm doing right now is I'm doing a lot of work in the gym, and until I'm like in really good shape, I'm not cutting my hair. That's my plan.
Is that like a Samson workout plan?
It's like well, I don't exactly know what that means, but I have a personal trainer right now who's a monster, and he's basically Samson, I guess, is
like the biblical dude whose strength was linked to his hair.
Oh, yes, precisely. Except I guess the guy that I'm training with has no hair, so I don't know how that works. But
yeah. And I'm bright until I fly, and I played around with the setting for the title on my nameplate, and I wrote the word bell end for a laugh, and I was like, oh, it doesn't work. And then as soon as we go live, then it appears.
I could see it beforehand.
Could you?
Yeah.
We didn't show it.
Did you not see it?
No.
That's the new thing, headline.
Yeah. So we might have to have like host, co-host, guest. I don't know. Maybe. El Duderino. That is quite funny. Yeah. If it totally feels that summer has finally finished. And a reminder, I got poked in the ribs by Frank that there is a week or so left to get your responses in about the CAA feedback regarding the new identity remote UK remote ID. That's in episode 415. So if you haven't listened to that, please go back and listen to it. And I think the BMFA have finally released a statement on it. I'm not too sure, but we're still waiting on FPV UK, Simon.
What's everyone done on? Is everyone willing to discuss what they put?
I haven't done it yet.
Great example.
I am not
He's not affected. Blissfully unaware up in Canada where you can fly for days without hitting anything but an occasional moose.
I don't know.
Lots of trees.
He's got to put out codes and wear like a, and identify himself by wearing a high vis and not fly near airports, which there are many of.
He's got to wear a high vis.
Yeah, you got to do a lot of things, I guess.
I know. That's so bullshit. It was you were the first guys to come in with like bullshitness.
Well, you know what? The regulations here are not as bad as, at least not yet, as bad as some places are coming to be. So, it's just, I mean, my main thing is just don't be a dumbass. Or sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I saw someone flying a DJI drone in the park.
Huh.
Yeah. While they were walking their dog, they had the grey marital aid, and they were waving it around and doing the worst job of flying the DJI Potato that I've ever seen in my life. Like the guy was, it's a testament
to DJI's
anti-collision technology that this didn't hit a person, a tree, or the ground, because he had no idea what he was doing. I don't know if he thought he was filming himself. He was yanking this thing around like it was on the end of a rope. It was awful. I wanted to go up and talk to him, and I'm like, it's not worth my time. It's just, he was flying over people, next to people, like up and down and up and down, and like, yeah. Why he brought his dog with him when he had no idea what's going on? Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah, well, those DJI guys. Cough.
Yeah.
I used to be one. Cough.
Well,
I hope you're all right,
the
Gusto.
one-handed while walking a dog as well. I mean, like, it's literally. I can't think of. There must be a worse way of doing it, but I've yet to see a worse way of flying a drone.
Yeah.
It was a full-grown guy as well. If it was a kid, I think it's almost excusable. But
Yeah, that's a bit odd.
I love how you use the term marital aid for the said controller.
I believe that's the official term. YouTube friendly.
Yeah, I know, monetized. Good luck with that. We've Addy RC is is in the chat, so welcome, buddy. Long time podcast listener, first time live stream viewer. So thanks for tuning in, buddy.
Hello, Andy.
Hopefully,
Hi, Andy.
The guy who started it all for a lot of us, I think. Thanks for all the early work.
Not Andy.
Well, that's ADRC. That's not Andy RC.
He said ADRC. I think you just misheard him.
Oh, I heard it, Andy. Yeah. Oops.
They heard what they wanted to because we all miss Andy.
I know, I miss Andy.
Come back into the light, Andy.
I can't believe the dog poo bin has gone. So I have dog poo memorial stickers. If you want any, they have been redone.
What is that huge PCB that Cole's waving around there? What are you up to, buddy? Just saw this giant PCB.
Yeah. So, I guess, Jack, do you want to finish your thought before I go into rabbit hole of this?
No, it's fine.
R.I.P. the dog shit dive.
Yep.
But so about 8 years ago, I found a Korg DW8000 wavetable synthesizer in the garbage at this random apartment, and I was like, well, I'm gonna take that, and I don't know why, but I just wanted to do it. So it had a very non-standard plug on the back, and where I was living at the time in Toronto, there was a German guy next door who his name was Helmut, and his son happened to be in electronics, and he put a standardized whatever kind of power cable is in the back of like a computer, like the 3-prong kind of whatever. So
ICE?
Yeah. Whichever one
it had like a DIN plug for power or something, did it?
Yeah, it's like the 2 and then the ground at the bottom or whatever. It's like this sort of like not triangular, but
whatever it's called, IC320.
Yeah, so he slapped that on there for me, and this was way before I knew anything about electronics. So it worked. It's great. Like, it's fine. It turns on and you can play it. But the problem is, this is a 1985 synthesizer that has the same original button or cell, coin cell battery from 1985. So all of the memory, all of the programmed sounds and whatnot, they're forgotten every time the thing is turned back off. So I have the skills and the confidence, I guess, to replace this, because it's a weird, it's a very weird sort of way that
it's like a coin cell battery with some terminals stuck onto it.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've ripped it open. I've taken this board out, and I've now put on this coin cell easily removable one.
Smart.
So
how long does it last if you power it off before everything goes bye-bye?
Well, it's been a long time since I've checked it, but basically I would turn it on and none of the user programmable or none of the the stock programmable sounds were there. I would have to go in and adjust all these weird parameters to get a usable sound. And then I would spend 10 minutes to do that. And then
it's not even one of those you can save onto a floppy disk or something. It's just all gone.
It's all gone. And then and so that's what I'm doing now, because now 7 years after that, I'm well, I guess I'm gonna try and make this work again. So.
I see a future of yours where you've got floppy disk emulators into SCSI disk controllers, into Raspberry Pis, into FTP servers, and you're collecting wavetable sets and playing them on this whole thing.
Well, that's what this is. It's a wavetable synth. Yeah, it's weird, man. I mean, this hobby has gotten me into other things. Like I've been what size props? I think it takes about probably 20-inch props, man. This thing weighs like 50 pounds. I don't know if 20 inches is a real thing, but it's a heavy synthesizer. But yeah, the hobby skills translated over to fixing camcorders, now fixing synthesizers. It's,
awesome.
Jack's got himself an 03 air unit.
I was just wondering what you were doing looking through bins in the first place.
Well, so here's the thing. It wasn't actually in the bin. It was stacked up next to it, just sitting on its side beside the big bin. So it was like...
Don't lie. He knows me. That's why he was in the bin.
I am not lying. I am not a garbage picker.
I feel I should be using trash more. I mean, Jack's picking up discarded lipos from vapes. You're getting nice vintage synthesizers. I'm not doing enough bin stuff, it would seem.
No, you got to catch up, man.
What's that? Flywoo.
Flywoo.
This is the naked 03 air unit. So
it's all stripped down. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you can get them pre-stripped down. They do it in two variants. One where they just decase and they put the camera on its own special little shell that saves a few grams, and then they leave the SD card and they kind of just get rid of the case that comes around it, and that's what I've got. But you can get one that's a bit more expensive where they actually rip off all the RF shielding and save another 5 grams or something. But yeah, so you probably know what the regular camera looks like, but this, can you just hit the relevant solo button?
Yeah, sure. Here you go.
So the regular camera is a bit of a fatty, but this guy, let's see if I can actually reach the camera so you can see this camera. This guy is tiny.
Lens is still quite big though.
Huh?
The lens seems quite wide.
Yeah, the lens
though,
looks really big.
But there used to be a huge plastic shell, and they've replaced it with this custom. I think it's aluminium. I think they've actually got it feels to touch. So yeah, it's pretty neat.
Do you reckon there's a lot of dead space in there?
I've got a short cable for it as well. Yeah, there's absolutely a bunch of dead. The shell they put on the camera is huge for 03. It's an absolute fatty
chonker.
And that is this a bit like buying a racing Lamborghini where it weighs less, so it costs much more?
This costs the same amount as a regular air unit. But yeah, they just lost it. I think goes down from 36 grams, and this one's I think loses 30% of the weight. It takes it down to I'm straining to think. I think this is 23 grams all up instead of 36. And then if you pay more than the regular air unit, then they do the full-blown weight reduction, which does cost more. But this one costs the same amount as the regular air unit, which is nice.
Oh.
Nice.
So, Curry, how was your time in Brighton? Was it all right?
Yeah, we weren't there too long and ended up spending lots of money. And that was about it. We were only there for a few hours after we saw you.
Was she out of control? Even though she's the breadwinner and should be allowed to do whatever.
In her view, no. In my view, it cost much more than I expected. We were there because she wanted to change the setting of a diamond on one ring and replace the band of it on another ring, and then do something else with another ring, and that came to $3.5 grand, which is not particularly cheap. And I was like, "What now?" I was like, "That's a lot."
Aesthetics.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what they say, diamonds. Diamonds is a woman's best friend. I think that's what they say.
Oh, you like what you like.
Yeah. We spent thousands on drones, right? So.
No, max 20 quid.
The limit.
That's it. 20 quid. Anything you look at, that's about 20 quid. That's about 20 quid. That's about 20 quid.
Yeah,
Unless I die and she comes to sell them, then I'll be like, it wasn't really 20 quid.
Three
Get it
cases
for
full of
free.
anime memorabilia that he hauled back from Japan. 20 quid.
20 quid. Oh, she
I'm
was there when I bought
disappointed.
that. It wasn't that much.
I was disappointed you didn't bring any used panties back.
You keep going on about the used panty, which is what I thought Cole was looking for in the bins. But I still didn't see any of these alleged vending machines. I don't know what part of Tokyo they must be in. They
Probably got to be in the
it
business
sounds
districts.
very,
where
very
the
dodgy indeed.
people are.
The weirdest thing I found was a diaper vending machine.
Yeah, that's almost worse than used panties.
I'm assuming it was
not
a
used
clean
diapers,
diaper, though, right?
Clean diapers for your baby.
Right.
Which I
That-
think is
that's
acceptable.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. We all get caught short.
Question for you guys. Maybe because I'm being a bad guy, but is it bad to have the battery in when I'm going to do the solder joint?
Yes, remove it.
I know. I was just testing you guys, obviously.
Guess you
I
short.
actually used some little batteries today. I was so fed up with my old Tyrannuses beeping at me. I bought some CR1220s to put in there. Not that I've ever used the actual clock in a Tyrannus. I just got fed up of it going beep beep.
Why does it
RTC
beep?
battery low?
I know.
When you turn it on, if the real time clock battery is low, it bleeps at you.
Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it screams you. Yeah.
Shouldn't it trickle charge the RTC battery from like the main battery? No.
No, it's not rechargeable.
These are not rechargeables. But
No.
I have had that radio for over 10 years.
Yeah, you've done really well.
It's all right. I mean, it's been bleeping for the past 2 years. I just haven't got around to replacing the battery.
It helps with the GPS sort of stuff. If you have like the GPS, hang on, shall I just put up the?
How would it
I was
help
just going to put up the dimension string, but you seem to be all right.
Yeah, no, GP. I just couldn't think of the word GPS. Well, term acronym. GPS, yeah, because you need the clock data for all that.
No, you
For
don't.
some reason. I know you shouldn't, but apparently you do.
Well, quads can get a GPS lock, and they don't have real-time clocks, do they?
No, but they pull that and store it into memory via their onboard battery.
They get the clock time from the satellites because that's one of the NMEA strings.
Yeah, that's literally how they provide the GPS fix. It's by a timing shift between sources.
Yeah, and I don't know whether the Tyrannus can write the logs that quickly for saving the all the telemetry, or let alone the GPS telemetry of where you go down. I don't know. I know who to ask. My buddy Tom.
I think that's the only useful thing for having the clock if you're going to log telemetry stuff, which I'm not. I just got fed up with it beeping at me.
Yeah. I know. Well, even the Radio Master's got a battery in there as well, the old Boxer, I think.
I'm sure they all have. It's just that and the Q7 had run out of battery and blown me up.
Find out what on earth they're doing with it.
If I finally sold my old 4-in-1 module. That took a very long time.
Cool.
Nice.
Finally went. Someone wanted it. Someone was being a good boy and ordered the what's our thing? LBT version, and then they were like, this doesn't work with any of my old receivers. I've only got 4 options. And they were like, is it the FCC one? I was like, I don't know. So I had to take mine apart, plug in an antenna, like have a look, run the lure, go to the radio setup, change it from Crossfire to the multi protocol, have a look, find the things on there. It was a bit of a song and a dance, but you're helping, another person within the hobby sort their thing out.
This is a multi-protocol module, is it?
Yes, because my box.
It do both of them, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The multi-protocol will do LBT and FCC. You just need to change.
It doesn't.
Really? Mine
Should
does.
do.
On
Yeah.
all of the radios I've got, you just switch it from one to the other. It's in the config option.
You updated it recently.
Yeah.
It's literally, you go into FreeSky protocol and then you've got the sub protocol, I think, which says it's
Yep.
D16 or D8 or LBT or whatever.
Yep. LBT 16 or FCC 16.
That's weird.
Let's have a look. I don't agree with you because look.
I mean, I've got one right here, mate, and I can tell you that my TX16S has profiles for FCC and LBT.
Well, look, 4-in-1 LBT, FCC.
Yeah, but that's meaningless on that.
Yeah.
It's meaningless on all of them, to be fair, as well, because even if you get a CC2500 chip, it has the lesser set of protocols for the multi-protocol module
software
that
defined.
use that chip.
It's not actually locked into the hardware. It's purely software defined.
Is
Yeah.
it? Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that. I thought it was because of the buying the said module.
Oh well, never mind. You've perpetuated the confusion, and that's the important thing.
I didn't know. If I'd known, I would have told them.
That's all right. But yeah,
You guys been doing any flying at all?
By software. I managed to get
it's
out
been horrendous for me.
How come?
I'll quickly explain why it's been horrendous. First, I wasn't going to go fly. I was going to ride this little boat. Go up a bit. Hang on. Take close up off. Go slightly up. See this up there? Look, there's a little boat. I was going to take that out. And that was the day that both the other family members decided to take all the cars, and I couldn't drive far enough to take it. And since that time, it has either been I've been having to do something, or it's raining. And all this week, we've been having a bathroom installed, and I've been stuck in here listening to drills and hammers and not being able to go anywhere, and having to make endless cups of teas. So it's been a bad time for me. And I can't make any videos either, else you just get this noise all over the place. So
No good.
bad.
No good.
That sounds like Steven's done better.
Barely. I mean, I got out wanting to go and fly the Boxer, but I kind of did a 2-for-1. So I tested out the Boxer with my full-on Radio Master shill gear on, and it's fantastic. I think it's everything that I kind of wanted but didn't know I wanted, because I've been using my little yellow radio for ages, and I thought, oh, that's fine, because I could use the gimbals and hit the extremes of the gimbals quite easily on that. Whereas the TX16S, I was always like trying to balance this great lump of a radio, and I could never really kind of use the gimbals fully. It was always like, working around the mass of the body of the radio, and I didn't really find a comfortable position where I get full throw on the gimbals. But with the Boxer, for whatever reason, I can just do that. I don't feel like I'm having to constantly like move this giant lump of radio around to use the gimbals, and so it feels great. It feels really, really good. It reminds me of how good gimbals Radio Master do as well. Like, I've had a couple of jumper radios, and they've creaked literally. I had to change the gimbals on the T-Lite because they just started creaking, and my T8, the gimbals started creaking, and they're really kind of. I think that's the one thing I've got against plastic gimbals, that they develop a bit of creakiness over time. Even the Hall effect ones, they just kind of start to deform a wee bit, and you get this sort of in the gimbal. And it's got none of that. It's absolutely lovely. So I configured my telemetry screens and zoomed around, and I'd also flashed the latest WalkSnell firmware. I've been running the beta to test that a bit, but I flashed the latest WalkSnell firmware that has multiple font pages. You've got your white fonts, your red fonts, your green fonts, and your orange fonts, and so all the warnings come up in different colors, and splendid for us. It was working
Did
really
you try
well.
the 540p at all?
I didn't screw around with that. No, I mean, I'm not a racer. I can't pretend to have anything close to the reaction times for that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the coloured fonts at least.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad they raised the limits on that, because it was at 3, as I found out when I tried to install 4 and it didn't
14
work.
now, I think.
And your custom fonts will now work with OSD playback in the goggles, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I got a pack from Sneaky, and he'd instantly pushed it from the previous version of 3 up to 14. So he's got like 3 iNav fonts, 3 Argipilot fonts, and like 8 different Betaflight fonts. And there's a special font. If you look at them, they're just PNG files, and you can see it's purely a replica, like the white, green, blue, green, amber, red. Yeah, really nice. Does the job. Can't complain. It seems less flickery as well. I didn't have any OSD flickering, which is good, because the previous Walksnail versions were giving it a bit of flickering on the OSD.
Yeah, I agree. I noticed that they said one outstanding problem is the flicker is still there if you record on the VTX.
Maybe
So
my
that's
VTX that could be the case.
still to fix. I think they've improved it, but they haven't eradicated it completely, is my understanding.
I do notice when I bring up the menu, I'll bring up the menu, land, disarm, bring up the OSD menu, and until I move a line up or down in the OSD menu, it like doesn't bother to render it. But if I go up and down, suddenly ping, the OSD config menu appears. So I usually go in there and be like, oh, just bump up my filters a bit more, just bump that up a little bit more, see if we can get closer to the bleeding edge of performance, just so I can fly badly, and the flight controller deals with all that. Gotta love that. I noticed
Very
they've
nice.
dropped a new VTX as well. So that camera came out, but they've also dropped a VTX that does like 3 volt up to 13 volt, which seems perfect. And it's
Yes.
3 or 4 grams lighter than the previous one as well.
Yep, and that was a little tiddly one, isn't it? They called it the V3, but it's really V2 of the small one, I suppose you might call it.
Yeah, it's like a 32 gig version of the small one,
Which is very small. Yeah.
It's nice to have the option from 3 to 13 volt. Like you can put it on your 12 volt or your 9 volt or 10 volt back, but you can also just slap it on 5 volt if you're on a kind of space constrained build, so long as your main back's okay. That's always a nice option. I've absolutely mashed one of the buttons on one of these little quads, though. It's the one that's just a bare PCB that doesn't have the metal cover, the 1S board, and I've crashed and smashed the button, and it almost knocked the button off, but not quite. And now I have to like really press it from 2 different angles to make sure the button stays off, stays attached to the board while I depress it. That's a bit of a challenge. Firmware updates are interesting now. But yeah, had a little bit of a fly. Anyone else got out for a fly this week?
Can't say I have really. I worked on that O3 air unit, so I've done a bit of building and stuff, and kind of had done some updating. But yeah, I haven't really been able to get out. You, Curry?
As described, nightmarish several weeks, and it's not going to get any better, because the bathroom is not going to be finished probably next week, and then we have to take Sophie off to university the week after that, and that's like 3 days out. So it's all bad. I got some new stuff. I just haven't been able to play with it. I've got so much stuff lined up to do. Apart from that silly boat, I got some. Shall I show you the stuff I've been getting?
Yeah, if you're free to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Some of which I actually bought with money. I've got, when I get back to fly my 7-inch Chimera quad, a couple of these guys. This is a full send 4,000 milliamp hour 6S. lithium ion.
Lithium ion.
Oops, there we go.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's a 21700 pack.
yeah.
Six.
So that's meaty. But I bought these from your FPV, and Gaff, who runs that, sent me very kindly. He said, "Oh, I'll send you this in the post as well, because then I'll be able to see how a regular. It says it's regular lipo. The cells are very, very circular, like they're all 21700s or something. They look very similar. So I've got two 4000. One professes to be lithium ion. One professes to be lithium polymer. So we'll see how those go
So they weigh
when I get that done. Sorry?
Do they weigh roughly the same amount?
Yeah. When I'm just holding them, because you'd expect the
One of them
lipo
is good to charge to
to weigh
4.1, and
slightly
the other
less.
one
wouldn't you?
he's assuring you is good to charge to 4.2. Well, time will tell.
That's what it's telling me. It says 6 cell, 22.2 volts. We'll find out. I'll check the instructions.
Yeah, keep us
Also,
Do a little
We got-
long range action.
well,
I can't
last
have-
time I went to my field, they were actually they had an event on. They have this sunflower event where they have members of the public in the field. So I got sort of told off a little bit for flying there. But we also got, what are we looking at here? Duff beer mean.
Yeah, the lithium polymer, lithium ion.
Why do we have Duff beer? Right, okay.
Yeah, like same packs, but with different, same label, different packs.
Ooh. The goggles. Ooh, fancy pants.
Goggles.
Ah. Joys
Again,
of
courtesy of my friend Gaff at your FPV, got me this. This thing. This sounds very interesting. This is the analog, and it's the what they actually call it. They actually call it something vague, like goggle expansion module, which will take an analog signal, and I think it's got a Wi-Fi chip in there. So you should be able to connect to it, the server on your phone, and be able to see the footage from there. And to go with that, we got lost it. Where's it gone? Ah, there it is.
Caroline says it's fine to charge lithium ion to 4.2, apparently.
One of these little guys.
Oh.
Mobilite 7, which I
Ooh,
have to
cool.
say is the smallest looking HD camera I've ever seen. Because certainly the Walk Snail one is tiny. Look at this guy.
Well, Frank says it's fine to put the new government tracking module on there. There's loads of room.
Yeah, I think that'll carry 1.5 kilos, no problem.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. There's just a board and a camera. It's so tiny. That's interesting.
What you do
So I'm
with
hoping
it,
to get around to flying that stuff soon. But like I said, it's like bathrooms getting done. Other stuff's getting done. Oh, I see Richard Warwick saying he was flying at Drone Fest. And I started watching a Drone Fest video, but I didn't get a chance to finish it.
Yeah, apparently there's been a few live streams and everything.
That's cool.
So yeah, I couldn't do anything today. It just rained all day till about 5. So I've been just my quad's here in spirit. I'm ready to go, but I can't win.
So what is the conclusions on light iron? People are saying 4.2. I thought it was 4.1.
Hey, Swanee.
My charger tells me it's 4.1 as soon as I select lithium. I don't know if there's special cases.
I mean, that is like 0.1 of a volt. Do you know what I mean? Is there really that much in it?
I don't know. Do it like 10 or 12 times, and is your £100 battery still working? I guess is what you want to know, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Don't take my advice. I am a animal.
I mean, like you can racers charge packs to like 4.4 and above, but
Well done, Rich.
they don't care if things catch fire. So
they don't intend to have their batteries for more than like one race, do they?
Nah, just got to get past the gate. That's all they care.
Oh, Caroline sent a link. Let's have a look at the link.
Yeah, I've
Shall we
mainly been
see
doing
which-
network and PC stuff. I've gotten kind of nuts on PC bits and bobs, and I've got like Blackmagic capture cards that I bought cheap off eBay, and some Elgato cam links and things, and just messing around with those, and then some routers and some switches. My desk is covered with a bunch of networking equipment right now.
Any of this? Tell me when you see something you want to read.
I have no idea what you're looking at. What? There's lots of
Link
curves,
Carol.
there's walls of text.
The idea with these guys is actually check the flight time rather than range, because first off, I need to be confident that that quad can fly okay and stuff. Secondly, I don't know if that event's still on, so I have to keep in the confines of 2 fields, which I'm just going to go around in circles and like this.
You also
lasts
got to be
12
dead
minutes.
careful
This
not
lasts
to like
whatever minutes.
not
Don't
to
talk
punch
over
out
each other.
and pull more than so many amps, because that absolutely ruins them.
Yes, they're not for ripping. They're for cruising, and I'm quite happy. I quite like a bit of a large cruisy quad just to fly around and stuff. I think there's much better quads if you want to do silly
can
things.
Complain bitterly about like coming out of dives and getting on the gas a bit, and suddenly you're like 2 point what, and that's a bit scary.
No, it's quite. I don't know if you've ever tried flying really gently to see what you can get of a normal battery. Because if you can fly a regular battery at 3 minutes, you can actually get probably about 9 minutes out of it if you're really careful, and you just go really gentle circles and stuff like that. But it's quite interesting to do. It takes a lot of concentration, but it's also quite boring flying around in circles for that long. I expect that's what happens if you join a club, though. Go around in circles.
Ah, dear, yeah. Speaking of which, anyone got any ideas for commenting on the CAA's proposal? Now that everyone's come out with boilerplate, please echo our organisation's thoughts, memos.
No, it still makes me angry to try and compose. It's kind of like trying to, when you have to explain something that's so bloody obvious, it hurts my brain.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
feel like it's just scribbling in crayon instead.
I had a shot at it, and it made me angry, and I found I was just taking almost the politician's angle of just repeating the same thing for every single question, just in case they missed the point. So just, people who build their own quads are often not able to update the airframes to add GPS units. Often the flight performance of the craft is unable to sustain the added weight required to carry a GPS system. Sometimes the onboard electronics are incapable of interfacing with GPS systems. The airframes are not capable of holding blah, blah, and just for every single question. And then, putting in new laws does not guarantee that anyone, any bad actors will in any way be affected by these laws, blah, blah, blah. Just repeat every single time.
It is just a tax on the
awesome.
innocent.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be like, number plates are voluntary now. We've still got speeding cameras, but number plates are voluntary. So be sure to put your number plates on before you leave the house, because if we see a car without a number plate on, we'll say that that's a bad thing. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, how is this a system? This is the opposite of a system.
What they'd probably do in that case,
for the modern day,
to use the analogy, is they'd probably find a car the same model and color, and then send the fine to that guy, because it's like, well, that looks, it's probably you.
Smash the people onto the floor and tear gas them.
Sounds fair.
Yeah, probably about right.
So that comes into the US, 19th, is it? September?
Looming large.
I think that sounds right, yeah.
We can see everyone is totally prepared. Everyone's, I'm sure, seen the wealth of articles informing people how they can now abide the law in the United States of America. It's going to be a shit show, isn't it?
See what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I think wherever this sort of thing happens, there's going to be 3 distinct camps. maybe 4. There's going to be the people that abide by the law, and to do that, they'll probably be flying club grounds. There's going to be people that are like, screw you, this is my freedom and stuff, and just fly whatever they want. And there's going to be guys that just give up and say this is now too much hassle, and then the hobby suffers because of it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
If that crap
tricky
comes in, I'm just gonna like basically get my angle grinder out, cut one arm off every quad, and then just throw them in the bin.
Don't do that. I'll buy them off you.
Yeah. Just.
Oh yeah, Caroline mentioned that Flight Test had their FRIA rejected for that big golf club ground thing,
God.
which they've been flying
The
from for
largest
years.
organisation that anyone can think of. That's hilarious.
It's weird. It's like, hi, I own this huge thing and it's my land and I'd like to fly there, please. No. What?
I know. What do you mean I can't do what I want with it?
Have you tried maybe owning a large international media corporation and then reapplying?
That's where you're going wrong.
I oppose
Fail
and
to
Maria
bribe
Pops.
the requisite amount of politicians.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's infuriating now. It's getting to the point of just like taking the piss. Has anyone got any happy news? Shall I Google puppies and read some puppy news?
I learned how to Matty flip.
Hooray!
Nice.
How did it feel?
It was a little nervous. I was a little nervous at first, but once I did it like 2 or 3 times in a row, it was like, oh, not a big deal. But I was also doing it in between 2 trees with grass under me, so that baby steps.
I think that's the best way to start. Like, oh, let's just go with concrete. That's not going to end nicely.
No. Yeah, it's an interesting feeling when because you have to give throttle, like you're flipping forward or you're pitching forward or whatever, and then you kind of have to do that front flip at throttle so that you can suck yourself back, and like, yeah, it's a weird feeling, especially if you give a lot of throttle and it really like ejecto-cetos you. Like it can be a bit like, whoa, what? I can't see behind me. Yeah, it's
Something to be said for adding a bit of up tilt, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah, but that means like that's such a pain in the butt. You gotta get a new GoPro mounts and then change things just to do one trick. It's like,
Well, no, you just adjust your camera.
no, I know, but that means then what? Then I'm gonna be running at like 45 or ish, right? Like,
it depends what
But
the
that's-
FOV of your FPV camera is compared to the GoPro. If you've got a way wider FOV on the FPV camera, you might be able to just get by moving the FPV camera a wee bit and realizing that your framing's off by a little bit vertically.
yeah, I basically keep mine both like 20 and 20. Like I try to keep them as similar as I can, just because I feel like if you start messing around with like offset angles of GoPro versus FPV cam, it's you have to do this weird process in your head. Like, okay, I'm seeing this, but my camera is slightly lower, so
One thing I've noticed they added for the walk snail, I don't know if anyone spotted this, but there's now a section where there's like a viewfinder, and so you can have a dotted rectangle that covers a portion of your FPV feed. And so if you've got an HD camera that is pointed somewhere around your screen that doesn't cover the whole of the FPV feed, you can now have a box on your FPV feed to represent where your HD camera is, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, really?
I wonder how easy that is to marry up, though.
You'd need to mess around a lot. There's a bit of back and forth, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like putting the SD card, seeing what
Yeah,
it
or
can
like
see, and then put
you've got
bits of
the
tape
preview.
on.
Wi-Fi preview on goggles and just, sort it out.
Do you want to hear what when I first did my video on Warp Snail, I had all these unanswered questions about what these features were, and I asked the guy in Warp Snail support what the viewfinder was for, and he said, The viewfinder is only used to keep the same angle as the GoPro Pro and keep the shooting the same object. This feature is of no practical use. That's what he wrote. That's coming from Walk Snail.
Wow,
That's
they're
funny.
such fair
Hilarious.
people, aren't they? Oh dear.
Fun times.
Bless their little cotton socks. Oh dear.
Do people at least have plans in the next or the coming weeks to do something? Do we have plans?
I don't know. What about you? You're busy going away, so it's not even like, like how
I'd
me and
like
you met
to.
up. Like, oh, okay then, Curry. Yeah, let's meet up. Because that's one thing that Stephen was saying. It was like, yes, let's go fly with Curry. LDO meet up.
Yeah.
As I said, I'd like
We
to. At the moment, we've still got the bathroom going on, which I have to be in the house for at all times. And then I'm going away to Leeds for several days, and then it'd probably be winter.
Yeah.
But yeah, in theory. Anyway, we did meet up, Jack. We just had coffee. That's all, instead of flying.
Yeah. Hope I didn't bum out Pippa too much.
Well, if we can book some time in next year, we can make it happen. I think this year's going to a close in terms of flying time. Most of the time when I step outside, it's getting a bit cold, or sudden cracks of thunder appearing over the horizon, scaring the pants off everyone.
Yeah, Shady knows where it's at. Then off skiing.
Yeah.
And then drinking Chardonnay at the lodge. Yeah.
I'm not skiing this year.
Yeah, I'm probably not snowboarding either. I messed up my shoulder.
Me and Stephen need to meet up and go snow flying and bring the historical quad. Might have to mute you, Cole. You're making a lot of not podcast noise.
Oh, am I? Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Banging around.
Yeah, well, we could meet up. I had a good time flying in the snow last year. Actually, I was filming Elle like sledging down hills and accidentally like stacking it into kids' snowmen and things. She had no idea there was a giant snowman at the bottom of the hill and just went slam straight into it.
No way! Did it upset the little kiddywinks that spent
It
ages
was actually
building
such
it?
a big snowman that she hit it and then just stopped and just fell off the sled. It's pure comedy. It's just like packed block of ice at the bottom of the hill.
Mind you, it'll be Bob's first snow day as well.
Yeah, Bob the Schnauzer. She's been having a great time recently, running around like a loon.
There's no guarantee of snow, though. That's the only problem in this country. There's no guarantee of a summer or a proper winter. There is guarantee of grey skies and rain. We can
prolonged spring and prolonged autumn. That's where we live.
Yes.
Yeah,
I only went flying in the snow like once, and we wanted to go. When this beautiful blue sky and the snow all lights up, we didn't have that. We just had flat light, so it just looked like we were flying over white, just white. No particular shades, just some sort of white out down there.
Yeah, I've got lots of frames. I want to do some builds over winter. Just a lot of the FPV stuff, like constantly trying to fix stuff after Croatia, just kind of sucked the energy out of me. Now I've got to give myself a chance to refill that little reservoir, I guess.
Is it really that bad?
Just a bit tired. Like, I've got a couple of builds that I've got all the parts for. I wanted to try out this and that, and I wanted to go fly a bunch, and I'm just a bit tired, New job, and lots of flying earlier in the year. So I might, I'm just having a bit of a quiet period. I'll come back to it, but just a bit knackered. Having to, get up to speed in the new job was more exhausting than I thought it would be. Still refilling the batteries a bit after that.
Oh, you'll get there, man. I think you've done really well this year.
Yeah, you've got a lot of flying in.
Yeah, I've got a bit in. The Croatia thing, that was just a massive stint. I'm still looking through the footage. I think I uploaded all I'm going to upload, but there's a lot. I'm just trying to catalog it. So then I disappeared down to like fix up the NAS and setting up ZFS, doing like block resizing and recompressing files, reconfiguring disks. Then I realized that my NAS access was a bit irritatingly slow, so I started upgrading the network. I went from gigabit to 2.5 gig, tried out some 10G adapters. They ran a bit too hot, screwing around with everything.
I still can't get my my motherboard for my NAS to post.
Why not?
I wish I had a clue. At first, I thought it was the board needed a BIOS update because it mentioned. I finally found the list for all the possible CPUs for my board, and then I ordered one that didn't need a BIOS update,
And does it
and
post?
no, it starts up. I've got fan spin.
How many beeps do you get?
Huh?
How many beeps do you get?
None. No beeps with the speaker in there. Bought a speaker, no beeps, but starts up. Got fan spin. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Got the right power connectors on there. You've got memory inserted.
Yep, as far as I know.
Have you got too much memory inserted? Have you messed around and tried memory in different slots and stuff?
Yeah, I tried known working memory, tried different slots. I don't know.
Taken out all the expansion cards.
Now I need a power supply. No expansion cards there.
Was it working when you bought it?
I don't know. No, second-hand motherboard. It's all second-hand stuff.
Did it say spares and repairs in the listing?
No. So I don't know.
Mm.
I might have like, lucked out and not got a working thing. But I don't know. I've been trying. It's something I want to do because Curry mocks me for not being good at Linux and being too dyslexic and not being able to spell. And I was trying to rectify that. But
I don't mock you for being dyslexic. I just mock you for being shit at Linux.
Get it? I mean, you've definitely taken the hard mode approach by picking something that wasn't working when you started. Like that's the skating uphill approach there.
Yeah.
Make it easier for yourself, maybe.
Yeah, but it's like spending quite a bit on like, known working hardware for a bit of a project.
To be fair, whenever you do get known working hardware and plug it into your system, something goes non-working about it pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, that's me. I done a BIOS update. That was, and I followed Steven's advice, and it worked. Just install, reinstall, restart.
Hit it. Hit.
I got to fix old Digby Dan's son's computer. It fell over, and now it won't stay on. Keeps crashing.
I like the fact it fell over. Like, what was it? Drunk one night and we're trying to get back from the pub.
Yeah.
I will find out. So I get the full breakdown on boom, but I don't know. Might be a cracked motherboard.
Oh, jeez.
Sounds like it. Sounds like the old.
It takes a lot to actually crack a piece of silicon. More likely, some plug came off.
No. Like you've got if you've got a graphics card there, and the PCIe slot, and the computer falls right over, the weight of the graphics card might have snapped the old PCIe card. Don't know. Who knows? I will find out. I'll find out what happened.
Sounds horrific. Good luck with that.
I'll try and fix it. I fixed my other friend's computer, and we had something which could only be described as bin RAM, where I thought a piece of RAM wasn't working, and it turned out that it was actually smaller size than I thought it was. So we threw a stick of RAM away that turned out was working and fine, and we got it out of the bin. So now the computer's working with more RAM from a bin. Bin RAM. Totally.
You guys in your bins, you're just getting it all from the bins. I'm going to start checking bins out.
Yeah, like, you know, well, you got binned hardware, you know, like the silicone lottery. This is more stuff from a bin that shouldn't have been in a bin.
To be fair, you put it in the bin in the first place.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's like that was perfectly working. Can't have that. But the way it goes.
I did used to get computers out of bins when I was a student, but
yeah,
maybe
that's the best place to get PC hardware.
Yeah, because lots of people just have no idea how to fix anything, so you can grab a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at big companies' skips they throw out, you get all sorts of decent stuff in there. I remember throwing a PDP-11 in the skip, although that's a little bit big to have in your house, but you could get it.
I need a power supply, so if anyone's got a power supply, let me know. I need 24-pin and a 4-pin CPU.
Yeah, so when you say that it powers up and doesn't beep, you can often do it if one of those isn't. Do you have a second power supply to test it with?
No, that's why I need a power supply. I did have a power supply, it stopped working.
Balls.
You all done, Carl?
Are you about to make noises?
Yes,
Carl?
I am. Everything's back together. I just have to screw it back in. Well, I guess I'm gonna check for continuity first. Well, I did it. I've already done it a few times, but I'm gonna do it again. So, yeah, that was pretty crazy. Yeah. So fingers crossed. Pray for me, guys. Pray that you know. Oh, no shorts. No shorts. Oh wait. Am I on the right setting? Hold on. I lied. I'm on the wrong setting. Come on. Please don't beep. No beeps. Yes. Oh, wait. One beep, but that's just it going the other way around. Oh, no beeps.
Yep, the long way around.
Oh, wait. I lied. Uh-oh. That is a bad sound, isn't it?
Yeah. But
if it should have continuity or not.
Yeah, but are you pushing that into the... Are you pushing that into...
I'll show you what I'm pushing it into. Into that. Well, that...
Yeah, not DC. So that does not count.
Okay. Cool. All right, well...
The check for continuity would have been the positive and negative rail of the battery.
Yeah, I already did that.
You messed that.
Yeah, that's all good.
Can you make beeps and boops?
Well, I need to get a power. Oh, actually, I got power. Oh no.
Yeah, we could always go a keyboard solo out of Carl, I reckon.
Yeah, the only problem is I have to hook this up to an amp because there's no obviously built-in speakers, and I actually have to reflash the. You have to reflash all the factory settings on it, and I can't remember how to do it. It's like a really weird way. I think it's through I have to send an audio signal into this. I think I have to send an audio signal into this, which then gives it all of its settings back. It's really weird. I don't know.
It sounds
I did it one time.
Step short of a magic wand.
Yeah, I did it once, and this was 6 or 7 years ago. But we'll see. We shall see.
Sometimes you have to write these things down because you'll have to do them again eventually, and you won't remember.
Yep.
That's right. Oh, and then I'm like, wait, what are these screws for?
There you go. Caroline Taylor is so much better at electronics than me. There's probably a cap and a transformer across it, so it show continuity.
Okay, so I'll just open this up again then, because you guys are my masters.
No, that's Frank.
Ah, yes. I mean, the only thing I did was the battery, so it should. And I checked.
Is that Air Jacker or someone you jerked off? I'm just wondering, Win Davis. I'd like to see whether that makes it in. The editor's probably going to cut that.
Welcome to Let's Talk About Random Electronics and Computers, because we ran out of drone stuff because we haven't been doing anything.
I know. Stephen's holding
Really
up the
tired.
fort, though.
I've done a small amount of flying. I've been sitting around watching William Friedkin movies and rebuilding network equipment. That's basically been what I've been doing.
Well, do you guys want to? Do you want to see my Matty flip? I can very crappily show you.
Can you not share it?
This is going to be primo quality. Oh my word! Yeah, something rotated. We can tell. Wait, are you showing us a video of you filming a monitor on an iPhone?
Yeah.
Only I could reach through this.
He's the worst.
This is literally Inception. We're watching somebody.
Yeah, you can't see shit.
Well,
Sorry,
thank
guys.
you for bringing the millennial vibe to it. That's wonderful. I know that it was in portrait mode as well. Like you're filming your computer monitor in portrait mode.
Yeah, and so remember how I was like, why do I have these screws over here? I wonder what they're for. Yeah, they're to hold down the PCB that I just took out of this damn synthesizer.
Shaky.
Good thing I decided to open it up again. Oh god.
Oh dear.
The joys, right? Please tell me I'm not the only one who's done stuff like this.
Oh mate, yeah, we do it all the time, mate. Like I ain't gonna fucking sit there and be like
all the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's
anyone who says that otherwise is a dirty liar.
Yeah.
Filthy.
I'm proud of myself for taking pictures. I mean that. I have to think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I had to take about 15 to 20 connectors out just to get that PCB out of here. So, yeah, it was. I mean, then again, it's not that hard.
Next show, make some beeps and boops.
Yeah. I will show off this. Fingers crossed it's working. But yeah. I will do that. I will. The proof will be in the pudding, as they say. Don't get stuff.
Well, I've just set up a new wireless router after having taken this cheaper one from AliExpress that came with Redmi branding, a PRC Xiaomi router that arrived entirely in Chinese, and I was able to set that up, enable Telnet with a custom firmware, crack the password, which was related to the serial number, and then write flash onto it. So that little guy's working now, which is nice. So I've got quite a powerful wireless router.
Nice.
Non-drone related things are happening.
Well, at least something's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transferable skills, mate.
Totally.
Sitting under here.
If I hadn't gone into drones, I would have never even dreamt of doing this.
Black box, not very exciting, but yeah, it was all in Chinese, which was hard mode. Try and figure that out. So I ended up watching lots of YouTube videos and holding up my phone to use Google Translate on the web browser. What the hell? Oh, right. Yeah, this is the one that resets the admin password. This is the one that disable this option to avoid it automatically upgrading firmware. Okay, yep. Go.
Curry's probably had the same trying to translate all his Japanese games that he's grey imported.
Oh, special power attack. Hold this button for at least 3 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, I've been messing around. I've been taking bits of PS2 network adapters apart so I can have a SATA PS2 network adapter instead, which is not very exciting.
I don't think you even get a bit of a speed upgrade with that. I think
you don't.
The
thing is, if you try and buy a new ID disc these days, you can't. But you can buy like 300 gig SSD for like 15 quid from eBuyer. So that becomes.
Why didn't you say you wanted one? I've got loads of them up there. If you want one.
Oh, I didn't know you had any.
Yeah, I got loads. I've even got an enclosure if you want some.
That's right. Be quieter anyway.
I've got some genuine G4 IDE Apple drives and the Apple Drive logo,
Ooh.
which were higher capacity and faster speeds. If you want one, I can send you a load. You've got all my emo music on there.
You could just run PCSX2 and forgo all that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, emulation is the way forward.
That would be boring.
I know, isn't it? Some original hardware, Stephen. Original hardware.
hardware.
Makes
Now you've got the
me
original
hard.
hardware, you can take the guilt-free approach of just emulating it and not faffing with the actual hardware anymore. Winner.
I like molesting the original hardware to make it do my bidding.
Swearing, cursing, sweating over it.
Yeah. Well, I've got a dual oscillator to install now on my X station, so that'll be fun. Watch me break my PlayStation. Yay. I'll give you an update on that next week. Right, unfortunately, that is, I reckon, all we've got time for, because we have been completely off topic today. I'm really sorry.
Grossly
But,
off topic. I
my fault.
apologise.
Hopefully, Stephen can pull out another fantastic guest.
Well, Stephen won't be here next week, so over to you guys.
Oh, no, Steve,
Row.
Curry, are you here?
Yeah, I think so. Checking debt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Frank isn't, I don't think. All right. Me and Curry will find a guest.
Well, it'll be Jack and Cole's cool 80s synth night. Looking forward to that.
Right. Thank you. You've been listening to Let's Throw Out. You've been joined by everyone's favourite Curry Kedden.
Goodbye.
The man with the moustache, Stephen.
Good night.
Synth the repairman, Carl.
See you.
And I've been Brighton Till I Fly. This show is sponsored and supported by our lovely patrons. And without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do and have a fantastic show. So it's been lovely edited. So if you listen to this audio only, we're live every Thursday on YouTube, and then the editor edits it, and you get the lovely, neat enough version. So if you do have any room in your heart for a Patreon pledge, please go over to Patreon.com/Let's Throw Out, and you can end up with a bonus podcast, which should be next week. Thank you and good night. Bye.
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 Have a look.